putting more screws in these boards because they are loose. The original screws are very thin, looks like, and they have some of them have two and some only one. So especially the ones that are only singles, if you get on here, the boards are loose. See the movement there? So I'm putting deck screws in for some of these guys. 2 inches T40 Torx, and I've already done one row here, and it really secured the boards down really well. They're not moving anymore. So up here, it's got the same thing going on where it's good, nice and strong up front, but as you move back, it's a little bit loose. So I put them in here and it really tightened it down nicely. And the way I'm doing it is I am drilling first with the big drill here. Not sure what size that is. But I'm drilling the hole out of the wood, like so. And then I'm taking a smaller drill bit and going through the metal, like so. And at the end, I am using the countersink here. I don't know if you can see it, but and it goes ahead and makes a nice little pocket for the screw to sit in. And once it's screwed down, it stops moving. It's nice and tight. And I ran out of screws, so I'm just gonna do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm gonna do 12 more here in the back, and then the ones in the front, and wait for the others to come in the mail. And then I'll continue putting them in about every 4 feet. I'm gonna do this row here, and these boards are pretty loose. You can see them moving there. And if you walk on them, you can hear them rattling along with some of the fenders are loose here. And go around. Other than that, no real big issues with the trailer. Just minor things that are kind of annoying, like a little bit of slag here. And this is a Diamond C EDU 20 footer, and yeah, just really small issues. There's another one up here that I was looking at that's kind of annoying. A piece of the wire from the weld was left there. I'll have to get that off somehow. And a couple other things, minor, very minor, but all the same, it's very annoying, is the cuts right here. Just not very straight, so I'm gonna have to get a razor blade later and straighten them out. You can see where it's coming loose already. Some dirt showing through there.
Daddy, are you done gluing?
Not yet, honey. A couple stickers coming loose here. I'm gonna have to super glue that down. Yep, other than that, everything looks good. Nice trailer. The brakes are giving me a little bit of an issue, so those need to be adjusted. This back one works really well. Let's see, it's kind of melting the tire because it's doing all the work. And this one locked up on me one time, so I got a little flat spot there. I had to adjust my brakes on the controller. The other side hasn't locked up yet, so I need, this side needs adjusting because it's not doing. It still has all the little lugs on the tires right there. So this one wasn't working at all. Maybe a little bit, but not like the other side was. But other than that, it's a quick review. The trailer, I've had it less than a day. Probably put 500 miles on it bringing it home, if that. And then it's a Diamond C 20-foot trailer. Very basic version that doesn't have the big jack is the 5,000 or 7,000 jack. I can't remember which one it said it had. Spare tire mount, no toolbox. It has the breakaway and all the safety stuff is there. A nice hitch. And this one has the ramps on the back. It doesn't have the dovetail, which is a neat addition. Has the ramp. Really nice looking ramps. Again, minor things right here. You can tell the cut on this isn't very well done. Same thing with where the bottom sits right here. Kind of not straight, but it works. It does the job. All the electrical looks good. There was one small thing that I noticed when I got underneath earlier, is some of these joints, you can see the wires through the, so I might end up taping them up a little better. And look there, everything's kind of loose. So if a twig or a stick grabs one of these, it could tear it off. So I'm gonna see if I can secure it down better. You can see here, there's a thing here where that thing is supposed to go underneath there. You can see I need to get some of these secured a little better. And then if you look, you can see the bottom of the boards, and a lot of them have a gap in them. You can see the gap there under that one, but I intend to close all these gaps once I see the gap right there. I intend to close all those gaps with the new screws once I put them under here. And you can see up there in the front, it has wires exposed from the, but it's just because that plastic cover it has isn't secured with zip ties or any kind of tape or anything. So see the wires. I'll just have to get under here and just do a little bit of work to get them cleaned up. Do one last walk around. You can see having a bunch of drills does come in handy, because you don't have to change your drill bit. You can keep moving. You got all these extra batteries too, and they last a good amount of time. I definitely want to use a snap line when you do this line for the screws, the bolts. Diamond C EDU 20-foot trailer, brand new, 2020 model. About maybe 1,000 miles total has been put on it, and